no matter the circumstances. In Philippians 4:4-7, it says, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. This peace of God comes no matter the circumstances, and it guards our hearts and minds. I heard a pastor preach on this, and he said the peace of God guards our hearts and mind, right? The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guards our hearts and minds. So we need to put on, let's pretend the peace of God is a helmet, and we put on this helmet, and it guards us, right? Oftentimes we get it reversed where we take the helmet off and we say, well, I'm going to use my heart and mind. I'm going to believe and I'm going to think to protect my peace. And it's like taking a helmet off and putting your face in the way to try and protect the helmet, right? It's completely backwards, that we need to have the peace of God, which will then guard our hearts and minds. So we have peace with God, then we can have an internal peace that comes from an external source. We can have peace no matter the circumstance because we have peace in God. And thirdly, because of this, we can pursue peace with others. This is an external change. We can have peace with others. Romans 12:18, the Apostle Paul says, if possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Hebrews 12:14 says, strive for peace with everyone, for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. 2 Corinthians 13:11, Paul says, finally, brothers, rejoice, aim for restoration, comfort one another, agree with one another, live in peace, and the God in love and peace will be with you. Colossians 3:15 says, and let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be thankful. Because we have this peace with God and this peace within ourselves that comes from God, we can be at peace with one another. We can put away all comparison and all striving, right? That we know that we are sinners saved by grace. And I know that you are a sinner saved by grace. And I don't have to strive against you. I don't have to vie for dad's attention. We know that we're sinners. We know that we all fall short, that we all fail, that we're saved by grace. And then it puts away that striving. It puts away that competition toward one another. And it also then we can look and see, how is Christ treated, right? He was reviled and did not revile in return. He was treated unfairly and loved anyway, right? We can take that as an example and have that peace with one another. Christ says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. So here's where we transition into, we have Christ saying he gives his peace, and he compares it to the peace of the world. Not as the world gives do I give to you. So I want to get into now, and remember that to have true peace, we first must have peace with God. And that establishes this peace we can have in ourselves because of God, and then the peace we can have with one another. I want to contrast the peace that is given through God versus the peace that is offered by the world. This peace that is offered by the world, I'm going to call a false peace. In Jeremiah 6:14, speaking of the priests and the prophets of the day who are apostate, who are not following God, it says, they have healed the wound of my people lightly, saying, peace